Welcome back to Snetterton. Let's have a look at the grid for race 2. Jamie Going starting on pole position with Harry Gooding, then Danny Harrison and Tom Hutchins, row 2. Third row, Ryan Falconbridge with Miles Baker, Richard Ashmole and David Nye on the fourth row, followed by Jake Dawson and Robert Stevens. Richard Dawson completing the Class C's. Class D headed by Jamie White and John Cooper, from Zachary Lucas and Luke Bannister, Tim Bennett and Marco Ricci. Green flag at the back of the field. Lights on here at Snetterton for round 10 of the championship. We're underway. It's a good start. Just checking that everybody has got it off the line. They have, so no start line dramas. There might be drama as they come down into Riches for the first time. David Nye taking a wide line. The wide line seemingly the thing to do in race number 1, and Harry Gooding has used it to very good effect there to sweep around the outside into the lead in blue and orange. Jamie Going in second place. They've all made it around Riches as well, so again, superb driving standards from everybody. Danny Harrison trying to bundle his way up into third alongside Tom Hutchins. Ryan Falconbridge is in fifth place with Jamie White leading the Class Ds. We're looking across to Luke Bannister and Zachary Lucas. Zachary fifth in the championship standings for Class D. It's still Tim Bennett who leads on gross points from Jamie White, and they're down at Agostini for the first time. Richard Ashmole coming under a bit of pressure there from Richard Dawson in the all-white car. John Cooper resuming battle with Jamie White, and it's Tim Bennett in third place, the man who's got the most points in the championship. Remember, before the 3 dropped scores, and not that far away at the moment, Tim, who has had quite a few podia so far, which have contributed to that points lead, and he's following John Cooper in the black, green and white Simply Car Sales machine. And again, you can see Jamie White involved here with Richard Dawson. So Dawson was involved in the battle between himself, White and Cooper in the early stages and mid stages of race 1. And they go down the main straight, enjoying their battle. Ryan Falconbridge now up ahead of Tom Hutchins. It's Harry Gooding leading from Jamie Going at the moment. So a decent start for the Class Cs. David Nye looking to bang in a few more points here. David, 8th position in race number 1. A little bit off colour, David Nye here, which is unusual to see. David, who was a double winner at Cabwell Park, that will say a great deal about driver ability. And of course, defending champion and multi-champion in the BRSCC Fiesta Championship, racing with MRF Tyres, new rubber this year for the cars, which has been being very well received by the drivers we have. Lots of encouragement from the pit lane at the end of the opening lap, and still that first lap sort out is happening on board with Robert Stevens in the 89 car. Robert having had a best result so far this year of 9th. He's been in the top 10 a couple of times. He was 12th in race number 1, and changes down. You can see he's got Jamie White immediately in front of him. Meanwhile, we pick up with the leaders again. It's Harry Gooding, the youngster, leading from Jamie Going, who was delighted, and Jamie very confident in his interview with Scott about his ability. And we're saying that probably would have been 2 wins here last year but for that mechanical failure, and he could be on for 2 here, but he's got to be able to deal with Harry Gooding. John Cooper going through in the lead of Class D. So Cooper has managed to get clear of Jamie White here, so potentially we're going to see 2 different winners in Class C and overall, and potentially in Class D as well, as we ride with Tim Bennett. Number 16 car, when you see it from the outfield. Tim 5th position in class in race number 1, and the Daniels Motorsport prepared car handling well at the moment. Jamie White, I was going to say he's got some work to do, and that will be made easier by the errant Jake Dawson. Ran a little bit wide there, so White will have a bit more speed, and this is going to give him a clear run here at John Cooper. Cooper immediately ahead, still looking at Richard Dawson, and let's watch them as they come into Brundle. In fact, that didn't work out for Jamie White because the ST was that bit quicker. despite the lack of momentum as he came onto the back straight. But the back of the car having a Mr. Whippy, and White's going to pop his nose up the inside line. The man from Elsenham goes through. Now he's got a clear run at John Cooper, assuming Cooper hasn't managed to make the pass on the ST car in front of him, and no, he hasn't. So Jamie White will want to keep John Cooper in the mix. Cooper is fourth in the championship standings. Very close out front though after lap 2, 6 miles into the race. Remember, race number 1 was 9 laps, so we would expect the same distance. 20-minute race, actually got up to 21 minutes and 18 seconds was the race winning time for race 1 for Jamie Going. And Jamie set the fastest lap on that one, has set the fastest flying lap as well. So keeping in touch with Harry Gooding as we watch Tom Hutchins and Ryan Falconbridge having a good race of it at the moment, and Harry Gooding showing the others a clean pair of heels at the minute. And it was good to watch Harry in race number 1 because he didn't do anything rash or silly, and that was a very mature race for him. He took the opportunity to nip past at the hairpin in race number 1, but other than that, didn't take any risks. He's very mindful of the fact that you need to finish, and as much as he wanted to win, took the opportunity to go past when he could. But as I say, nothing silly from any of the drivers. The standard's absolutely superb, and when in a 20-minute race with this many cars, very unusual here at MSV circuits not to get track limits infringements, but we didn't get that, probably speaking too soon. But on board again with Tom Hutchins. You can see the lead quartet immediately in front of us. Immediately ahead is Ryan Falconbridge, comes from Mansfield, picked up his first win at Rockingham, as we mentioned in race number 1. And you'll garner from that this is a very competitive championship with different drivers taking race wins. David Nye's had wins, Danny Harrison's had wins, Jamie Going this year, Harry Gooding as well. So, and probably a lot more drivers on the grid that are capable of taking race victories as well. But things looking relatively calm, and Gooding is in command of this race at the minute, pulling away from Jamie Going. But we've still got plenty of time to play for, getting into around about third distance here as we come up to the end of the third lap, assuming we don't get safety cars or any other interventions or, of course, red flags. And look at I said this on one of the other formulae, the floppy markers around Coram, all intact. Now, I know if they wipe them out, they'd probably be track limits, but the point is that you can do one track limits infringement, although having said that, looks like we've got somebody picking up a driving standards flag, and that is probably going to be for track limits. But all those floppy markers, as they're called, are still intact. So superb racing. Many other formulae you would see, they would just go all flying off on lap 1 or 2. We've completed lap 3, which, if it goes to schedule, should be 1/3 distance. And it's been a great race so far. On board again with Tom Hutchins, the driver from Crowborough. Opened his campaign at Brands Hatch with 3rd place in race number 1, a retirement in race 2. Got things back together off the back of the grid for 7th place in race 3 at Brands Hatch. And remember the race format, you qualify for your grid position for race 1, and from there on in it's where you finish. So if you have a DNF, you have an awful lot of work to do from the back of the group, and so a DNF is not really what you want in race number 1. Thankfully, I think we had everybody finishing in race number 1, so all assuming their finishing positions, and maybe those that were slightly off colour have got a bit more work to do. Great shot of the leading 6 drivers, all working their way round Agostini and heading up now into Oggie's corner. Danny Harrison ahead of Ryan Falconbridge at the minute. Harrison with a podium, of course, in race number 1. Losing a wee bit of ground at the moment on the top 2. But remember, we're only 3rd distance, so he could get back into it. Might be about tyre management as much as anything else. But it's Harry Gooding, still the race leader. The orange and blue livery clearly coming down the straight and into Brundle, chased by Jamie Going, who actually looks hungry for this one, I've got to say. Harrison and Falconbridge dicing it out for the last podium slot. Harrison looking the smoother of the 2 there, but not losing Falconbridge at all in the 13 car. Still trying to close in the black and blue livery for Ryan, who gets hit on drop scores. He's only had 1 retirement so far this year. It was race 2 at Cadwell Park, and so he will drop that. He will also drop a brace of 6 positions, race 1 at Cadwell, so he'll lose both of his Cadwell scores and drop scores. and 6th position in Brands Hatch in race 2. And not a bad scenario to drop 6th position scores. To be honest, if that's his worst result, then things could be a great deal worse. But here we come then, race leaders going into Riches. Danny Harrison's still there. It looks like Tom Hutchins is closing up. Then David Nye, gap back from David Nye to Richard Ashmole, who's coming towards us now in white and blue. So he goes through. Here are the Class D runners headed again by John Cooper, but you can see the gap is closer than it was when we last caught up with these guys. And Jamie White reeling in, John Cooper now out front. They managed to get ahead of Richard Dawson, and there's a little bit of a gap between these two guys and the other drivers in Class D as well. So Class D, in theory, you would say, is going to be a done deal between these two. And it's Cooper, the man out front. It's going to be very good for him if he could beat Jamie White on his home tarmac. Miles Baker I neglected to name check as the cars came across the line. He's the car immediately ahead of these two. We've got Richard Dawson in white busy chasing as well, and Jamie White, look at that, inch perfect, a lovely wide line in from Jamie White, under no pressure and under no illusion that if he sticks to his racing line he'll gather the momentum needed. Now looking up the inside as they head towards Hamilton, goes back out to try and grab the momentum through Hamilton and up into Oggie's corner as they near the end of this infield section, and it's still Cooper that's there. Lovely piece of racing between the two. Cooper just a little bit defensive when he needs to be. And is he going to hang on to this? He does for the moment. Now through Williams and onto the Bentley straight once again. Runs a little bit wide, so needs to be careful of that for the track limits. But Jamie White gathering momentum and getting closer and closer. White with the timing screen lighting up and going purple, setting purple sectors here. And in fact now has got the fastest lap of the race. Looks to the outside line here. This is very brave for Jamie White, and the outside on the way in to Brundle means he's got the inside at Nelson. Has a little bit of paint trading with the class leader, who's still got his nose in front, but White is going to have the inside line as they come into Coram. Side by side for the Class D lead. This is bringing Richard Dawson into the mix as well, and surely Jamie White will go through with that inside line into Coram. He's got his nose in front. White's trying to hold on the outside line to tee up the inside as they come into Murray's, and he's got it back. Superb motor racing. Wonderful stuff for the lead of Class D. Great racing and respect shown by both drivers there, with Jamie White bravely going around the outside of the entry into the S's at Brundle. And they played that out side by side around the far side of the circuit. Superb stuff. And John Cooper retains the lead, but retaining the pressure is Jamie White in car number 1, who will look to the outside line at Riches, flick back, maybe go for the inside in the hairpin. No, it's all about momentum again for Jamie White. And he's going to try and take the wide line into Wilson's, but he's coming under pressure now from Richard Dawson. So Dawson in the mix as well for our second of 3 races here at Snetterton. So this is absolutely superb stuff, and as I say, we've got the Class C cars involved in their battle as well. They're coming down the straight once again. It's Robert Stevens who's in the mix behind, who dives down the inside line. Robert Stevens makes the move and passes Richard Dawson, moves up a place. John Cooper still in the Class D lead. White does what he did last time, has a little look along the run out from Agostini. Can't quite do anything to go through on the inside line, but the Simply Car Sales machine is coming under pressure again from Jamie White, who carrying the number 1, I'll remind you, if you've not watched Fiesta racing before, is the defending champion, the defending overall champion, having won Class D last year. And White will be looking again to get a decent run down the straight here, maybe attack that outside line. If he can get enough speed, enough grip, he might be able to maintain that outside line and perhaps get in front. Let's see how it plays out as they come down the straight. Cooper defensive. Goes to the right-hand side as we look at them. White goes to the outside. He's not quite as far forward as he was on the previous lap. And he's going to be, I think, reliant on finding a gap here from Cooper, who, by going defensive, won't be as quick as he would like to be. But he does still have the lead, heading from Bombole down into Coram again. Robert Stevens, I think it was, who had the black and white flag for track limits. You can see he's got the new driver insignia on the back of his car, the yellow square with the black cross, and learning very well indeed is Robert, improving his results all the time. They go across the line again. It is John Cooper still there. We've got the penalty board going out. I think that is for the 89 car. So I've spoken about track limits, and I think that's our first penalty of the weekend as John Cooper continues to lead. Superb stuff. I can tell you that Harry Gooding is still in command of the race, with Jamie Going busy trying to challenge him, but this is slightly closer. The Class D battle, Jamie White defending champion, and this I reckon could be enough to see. No, it's not going to get Jamie White up into... Yes, it is. If Jamie White wins this one, I reckon he'll go atop of the standings on drop scores as well as the net points after those drops as well. So on total scores and net. But we'll see how it pans out as Cooper again comes down. Not particularly defensive, because White is looking on the outside line, which is a brave move. This could be about momentum down into Hamilton, but coming across in defence now is Cooper, and that is really going to scupper Cooper's run around the rest of the infield complex and onto the back straight, because he was taking a very tight line there into Hamilton, and this will afford White maybe a little bit more momentum. It was White that was looking up the inside run, and he's still there, and he's got his nose now down the inside, but tags Cooper. That's very unfortunate for John Cooper, and White tags him. Cooper is out, and well, I suspect, as you can see, the driver warning flags are still out. I suspect the clerk of the course will take a look at that. But that was close quarter racing. But it looks to me like Jamie White now is so clear in Class D. Unfortunate for John Cooper, who was driving a very, very good defensive race. I think he's got going again, but very, very slowly. Luke Bannister makes it past, and so disappointment for him. Tim Bennett in front of Luke Bannister, incidentally, the man we had the onboard from. So you can see that Luke Bannister has caught Tim Bennett, and those two having a very good race indeed at the moment for third in class, because it's Jamie White leading the class, Zachary Lucas in second. This is going to help Zachary's charge up the field. Those two go across the line, and well, fascinating race, but so disappointing for John Cooper. And now here comes the 20 car. Luke Bannister has a look down the inside line, but Tim Bennett holds sway, and remember, he's the top point scorer in Class D thus far. Back with the overall leaders though, Harry Gooding is on for a third senior career win. He's had many wins in junior Fiesta racing, and he still leads this one from Jamie Going. And make no mistake, these guys, there are no team orders. They both pay for their own racing, and Jamie Going wants to get another win here. The key thing he'll want to do after Snetterton is go away and grab a race win somewhere else as well. So he'll be seen, if we come back here next year when the schedules are published, there's no reason to think that we won't come back here, that Going will be perceived as a Snetterton track specialist. But he's done superbly this weekend. But Harry Gooding in command here after a superstar, and again has soaked up the pressure from Jamie Going. Danny Harrison still running in third. Do I reckon he's closer than he was in race number one? Very possibly. So that might be encouraging for race 3 for Danny Harrison as they head along centre straight and cross the line now onto the last lap of race 2 here. If you think about it, 3 20-minute races, they get a solid hour of racing action in addition to qualifying that they have, and great value for money, the BRSCC Fiesta Championship racing with MRF Tyres. And Harry Gooding here doing his championship campaign, no harm at all. Looks like, having got the winning habit started at Rockingham, that is going to be a continuation here. And from the viewers' point of view and the spectators here, 2 different winners by the look of it in Class C. We're not over yet though. Gooding has got to do the downhill run here into Agostini. He's got 3 or 4 lengths at the minute. The gap, by the way, the winning margin in race 1 was 0.4 of a second. It's slightly more than that for Gooding at the moment, so it'll be a win apiece. They're both on 2 career wins, incidentally, at the moment, so Gooding will edge ahead in the career win stakes to 3 if he can hold on to this. Danny Harrison still in 3rd, Ryan Falconbridge 4th, Tom Hutchins is in 5th place ahead of David Nye. And Gooding absolutely perfect here. This is going to afford him pole position for race 3 as well. Now, bearing in mind we've seen some fast starts from the outside, Jamie Going in race 1, Gooding in race 2, is that going to give Jamie Going a head start on race 3? Remains to be seen. You need to make sure you stay and watch that race. So it's down the Bentley straight for the last time, and Gooding is not close enough to be challenged at the moment by Jamie Going. Going is not anywhere near close enough to Danny Harrison for Harrison to be a worry for him at the minute. So it's going to come down to last minute mechanical problems or mistakes. I doubt if we will see those, to be honest, because race prep is absolutely superb for all the teams that race here in the Fiesta Championship. But it's Gooding from Going into Coram for the last time, picking the lines that they want, because there is that little gap. Fastest lap of the race still with Jamie Going. That was back on lap 3, so Going will pick up the bonus points for fastest lap of the race. So it will be 50 points Harry Gooding for the win, 48 for Jamie Going, and here is the checker. Congratulations, Harry Gooding. Jamie Going 2nd, Danny Harrison is 3rd, Ryan Falconbridge in 4th place. 5th position goes to Tom Hutchins, a little gap back to David Nye, who completes the top 6 and takes the checkered flag now. Behind David Nye, it's Richard Ashmole coming home in 7th place, then Miles Baker, and a gap back to 9th, which is Jamie White. Confirmation of the result. Jamie Going getting fastest lap in 2nd place. Jamie White indeed winning Class D and taking 9th overall. 10th goes to Jake Dawson, then Robert Stevens. 2nd in Class D, Zachary Lucas. Richard Dawson next. 3rd in D, Tim Bennett, followed by Marco Ricci and Luke Bannister.
So Harry, 2nd yesterday, but managed to get a win this time, but Boss didn't make it easy, did he?
No, it was a good race. He was putting pressure on quite a lot through the race, but managed to get a gap in the middle part. But on the second to last lap, he really caught up to me. I made a bit of a mistake coming out of Coram. But no, it was a good result. 3rd win of the season. Just hopefully he can do it later on today as well.
It's like your junior days, isn't it?
Yeah, hopefully he can repeat the whole season.
Good stuff, well done.
Thank you.
Well, Jamie, 2nd place this time, and again, he can attack and he can defend as well, can't he?
Yeah, he's really good. Really hard to get past. I bogged down a bit at the start and he managed to get alongside me, so he sort of got the run away. But from there we managed to work together and just get away from the pack and just settle down. I didn't really want to try too hard. I'd rather us both just stay in one piece and bring the points home. I felt like I had the pace. I think I got fastest lap. So yeah, no, it's a great result and I'm really happy. I don't mind getting beat by Harry. You know, that's great. But yeah, it was a good race. And
so it's 1 apiece now. You got to break the deadlock.
Yeah, well, let's see what happens to the next one, eh?
Good stuff, well done, Jamie. 2 third places. That 2nd one, you had to try and keep up with the Jam Sport boys again, but still managed to keep in touch and distance.
Yeah, it was good. It was quite hard to keep up in a straight line as we were lacking straight line speed, but through the cornering was quite good, catching under brakes. But we've got a few things we're going to change for the next race to hopefully give us the edge in a straight line. But it's all down to my sponsors for getting me here, so massive thanks to them.
Thank you for another podium in race 3.
Yeah, of course.
Good stuff, well done.
Cheers.